All right, did not participate were Bergstrom, knee and ankle, Anderson, hamstring, Doxson, concussion protocol, McCoy, fibula, Reed, ankle, foot, Inseki, knee, Ioannidis, shin. Limited were Crowder, knee and ankle, Sean Dion Hamilton, shoulder, Peterson, shoulder, Roulier, knee, Moses, ankle, and Williams, thumb and wrist.
Jay, you had Mason Foster had some Instagram exchange with a fan or something like that. Stuff came out last night about some of the stuff he said, kind of, about the team, about the players. I'm curious, what you know about it, if you talked to Mason, if anything's being done on that.
We talked to Mason about it, and it was, I don't know when it was exactly, but it was a private message, and the guy, I guess, screenshotted it, which is against the code of private messages on screenshots, So I know what Mason is. I know what he means to this football team, what he's meant to this football team, and anything he said in a personal message was personal, and I really don't take anything from it. I do, however, disagree with that guy posting a private message out on social media. So broke a code there, which I don't agree with. But as far as Mason, man, I have nothing but respect for him as a person, as a player.
Follow up on that, too. Do you feel like he also said something about how in that message, private or not, it's out there that...
Yeah, I really don't even care. It's a private message, and I don't know when it happened. And like I said, I know Mason and how hard he's worked and how hard he plays, and I know he wouldn't say anything publicly to do that. That was a private deal where he was probably could have been messing around. I don't know the intent of that message. I really don't care.
Do you feel that maybe exposes some bigger issue within the defense?
No, not at all.
In general, since Alex has been gone, what kind of ways have you guys felt his leadership void?
It's hard to put your finger on exactly what. I just think he's just always been very accountable for his actions, very predictable in the way he shows up to work every day, and just a great teammate. You lose somebody like that, it obviously has an impact on the field and off the field.
Knowing, because from the moment he got here, there was something you and many others around were talking about how good of a leader he was, knowing that when he exited that there was going to be that void. Is there anything that you proactively tried to do, or guys you talked to that said, hey, we're going to need you more here, anything like that?
I think some guys stepped up in his absence for a little bit. Colt tried to, and then he got hurt right away. But, and that's responsibility of the next guy. Mark did a good job trying to step up and take on some of the roles of quarterback. But Trent Williams has always been there for the guys, and Morgan Moses, and some of the veteran guys we've had here, Vernon Davis and Jameson Crowder. Those guys have also stepped up and offensively been a little bit of a voice.
Jay, how would you evaluate the play of HaHa Clinton-Dix since he came to the team? And is there any thought to Monte Nicholson getting any more play time? What would you say his play has been like over the last few games here?
Well, I think everybody in general, I think everybody needs to step up on both sides of the ball, and special teams and coaches and all that stuff. But as far as HaHa's concerned, and he's done some good things. There's a couple plays out there that probably would be viewed as a poor angle or what have you, and it may be true. But I like HaHa as a player. I like him as a person. I like the way he works. I think he's going to get better and better within the defense, and just understanding the depths and the techniques that we're playing with, he's going to get better. As far as Monte is concerned, we have not lost faith in Monte at all. I mentioned it the other day. I think there might be a place where he might have a package or two where he can get back on the field.
Jay, over the last 4 years, Josh Johnson has been with a number of organizations, I think like 7 or 8.
12.
12. Sorry, I must have missed a few there. How does that help him get ready for what's going to happen on Sunday? Well,
he's played with or against everybody in the league, so for starters, he knows everybody on the Jacksonville defense. He knows everybody we're about to play, and familiar with terminology and systems and coverages and defenses and all that stuff. So that's a good thing. But as far as knowing what to do here, I think the big reason we wanted him is because of familiarity with what we do. Being at Tampa, there's some carryover, and then obviously with me at Cincinnati for the length of time that he was with us, there's a lot of carryover that he remembers and could handle. Now it's a matter of honing in on his skill set and trying to come up with a plan that we can utilize his strengths.
Jay, obviously you guys have had a lot of injuries on offense, not as much on defense. But is there one thing you've seen over the last 4 weeks that have caused the season to go from 6-3 to 6-7? Is there one thing that you think is causing the slide for you guys?
No, not one thing. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. When you're talking about losing a football game, if we had it narrowed down to one thing, we'd fix it and be okay. But sometimes it's defense, sometimes it's offense, sometimes it's special teams, sometimes it's coaching. It's a combination. So it's a matter of all of us having to step up in some key players' absence and playing better. And we haven't done that. We haven't taken it to the next level of coaching, next level of playing. The level that you have to take it to when you have some injuries and some voids in your offense or defense, corner, or what have you. So it's up to the young guys to step up, the veterans to lead, and the coaches to coach.
You extended practice last week to get Mark Sanchez ready. Am I correct in inferring, based on the timing, that different approach this week maybe?
Yeah, we just, lack of bodies a little bit, but we got a lot of work done today. We had a lengthy walkthrough and then practice, some good scripted sessions, and then we had another walkthrough at the end of practice, and we'll watch film here in a little bit. We just changed it up, but we're going to get all the reps in for Josh.
Then I wanted to ask you about the defense. You had a couple players. I know DJ Swearinger had some comments about the coaches, and then Zach Brown earlier this week. Is there a disconnect between the coaching and the players, and have you made any effort to kind of bridge that gap over the past week?
We always make an effort to bridge a gap. At the end of the day, it's like I said, it's up to the coaches to coach and the players to play. And there are some things that as coaches we got to hone in on and make sure we understand the skill set of our players and try to put them in the best positions possible. And then it's up to them to go out and make some plays. There were some plays to be had that we did not make. There were some things from a coaching standpoint that we got to do better. So, anytime you lose a football game, I hate to say it's the coach's fault. It's never the player's fault. It's a combination of a lot of things, and that's areas that we have to improve on. But at this moment in time, we're 6-7, half a game out of the playoff race. So we have a lot to play for, a lot of reason to try to get together, all of us, and make this thing work.
With Josh still just being here a little bit more than a week now, what have you done differently? Is there anything that you've done differently to try and incorporate him, or do you have to change anything about, with Colt, you could keep the same plays, you could keep the same approach.
Yeah,
But is there
there's obviously a skill set that he has that you can implement some different things, but not a whole lot with the guard situation the way it is. We'll have a new starting right guard, and Josh didn't practice today, but we can't change the entire offense in 3 days. So, but there are some things that we've done in the past with Alex that we can maybe possibly pull back out of that Josh would know, but still, we're teaching everything brand new to Josh, even though he's done a little version of certain things. But we'll try to figure out something.
And you said before that he had the terminology and stuff, and he knew the system. But was it as sharp as you remembered it being from Cincinnati? Was he still?
Oh yeah, he's a very sharp guy. There's no doubt about it. We changed a lot of the terminology when I got here, though, especially in a running game and some of the protections and some of that nature to suit the quarterbacks that we had here when I got here. So some of it's brand new to him.
Going back to the comments with DJ and Zach, and then
I did not see those, by the way, so I don't know what they said.
Well, they did single out whether about the coaches or the players or whatever. But when you have guys talking like that, do you bring in team leaders on that side of the ball and say, talk to them about what's going on over there, just so you kind of get that either line of communication or get on that quote unquote same page with them? Do you do anything like that?
Yeah, it's important to mention how they speak to the media and how the media views their comments and how comments can be taken out of context from time to time and blown up into a headline. And we made that talk at the very beginning of training camp, and every so often we have the same talk. But at the end of the day, with the amount of microphones in their face and social media, there will be things said that can be taken the wrong way or said in a poor fashion, so to speak, that could do damage to a team or a person's livelihood, so to speak. So you got to tell them to be careful. Both those guys are highly emotional guys. They play very hard. They want to win, and they're all frustrated, as we all are. We just got to be careful what we say.
And a separate topic, with going back to Josh, when he has bounced around a lot, and he's got a tough, he's got that Oakland mentality, wherever it is, but how much do you look at that for him as a plus, just like somebody who's able to who has survived and still keeps going forward and still out there trying to do this? How much does that mentality help him?
It helps him a lot. The one thing that I really respect about Josh Johnson is he is a very confident guy. He believes in his ability to be a quarterback in a National Football League, despite being on 12 or 13 or 11 teams, so to speak. He has a skill set that's pretty good, but hasn't been able to stick anywhere. But still, the game's not too big for him. You can see when he went out there in the second half, he had poise, he had confidence, showed leadership, moved the chains. So that's what I like about Josh, and I think he's going to still, despite only being here a little bit of time, he's going to go out there and feel like he's the best quarterback in pro football. That's just the way he thinks, and that's the way you have to think to be a good quarterback.
With Jordan hurt, you guys probably going to bring up, I would presume, another tight end. How have Matt and JP come along this year?
They come along good, really. I like them both. JP's kind of a tweener between a tight end fullback. He can line up at both those spots. Flanagan's more of a tight end in the core, so to speak. So we'll make that decision probably Thursday or Friday. Who we're going to bring them up for, that's the big issue right now. We have some guys that are a couple week injuries. Don't want to really put them on IR. We have some other guys. We don't really have a lot of room to waive people, but we'll figure something out by Thursday or Friday if one of them come up.
Yeah, unrelated to that, in the running game, there seems to be a lot of missed assignments. How do you try to fix that when it's been a consistent problem over this entire year and really going back, not just a failure to execute a certain technique, but not knowing where to go and that kind of missed assignment?
I think we mistargeted a couple runs, which happens from time to time with all the movement. When you do jet sweep, fly motions, all that stuff, and people move, sometimes the center point's here, and then they rotate over here. We get the point wrong, so to speak, and sometimes when you line up stagnant and we get the point right, but we get our butts kicked in, or we make a wrong read with the back, or what have you. So everything's got to be right on the offensive line. It's got to be 10 guys working in unison, including the back with his reads and his footwork, and the quarterback getting in his right play. And the big thing is we've had way too many negative runs, and negative runs have been the death and penalties. Both those two things have been really the curse of this offense, and that kills our drives, that kills our momentum, that kills our ability to call plays, keep everything open in a playbook. When you have 2nd and 18 and 3rd and 15, your playbook goes down like this. When you're 1st and 10, 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2, everything's open, and we haven't had that luxury.
On any of the penalties?
Yeah, I hear back from them every week, and it's the same thing, different day.
Similarly to tight end at receiver, if Doxson's still in the protocol, how has a guy like Simi Cobbs looked and looking ahead to Sunday?
Simi's been great. He's been great. Kidsy's been great also. So, if need be, and one of those guys need to be called up, I won't hesitate for a second. Like I said, though, it's a matter of roster spots. We don't have a whole lot available. So we'll figure it out. I think Josh, has a chance to be okay. He's getting checked out by an independent guy, and hopefully we'll know more tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Hey, guys, we'll leave Josh at the end to overlap him because he's still out on the field. So we'll do it. Okay. We're going to